All right, so we're recording, and I want to welcome everybody, of course, to the call this evening. Thanks for joining us. And before we get started, we're going to just do a quick overview of Isagenix tonight, and just kind of give you an idea of what it is, what Isagenix is all about, what it is that we all love about Isagenix, and give you the information that you need, just so you can make a decision as to whether or not this is something that makes sense for you, right? So if you're just learning about Isagenix this evening, thanks for joining us, and hopefully by the end of this call, you'll have a better understanding, once again, what Isagenix is, what it's all about, and what it is that we're all raving about, right? So, but before we do get started, we have asked Liz O'Keefe to give a little bit of a testimonial, because Liz, I don't know how long you've been with Isagenix now, but I don't know if it's been 5, 6 months, a year. I don't know. Time flies for me. But Liz is this incredible person, and we've known each other going back to high school. And Liz has always been so beautiful. And the guys have always loved Liz. And I'll tell you what, but now she's getting on Isagenix, and not only is she beautiful, she's like smoking hot. So, you know what? I know, Liz, that you're having great experience with the products, and I know that you're a dynamo with the business, but can you just give us just a couple of minutes, just your story and your experience?
I would love to talk about Isagenix. And Paul, thanks for having me on the call.
Yeah.
I've known Paul for a really long time, and he's probably watched me go up and down 30 pounds in my life many times over. And I always, I've been on Isagenix products since the middle of the summer. But what led me there was lots of frustration, right? Because I've tried everything, and I'm a successful person. I have a successful company. I have a great family life. I love my husband. Everything in my life is going for me, but I always had this insecurity about my weight. So I've gone up and down 30 pounds countless times. I've tried everything on the planet. I've given up carbs. I've given up this. I've given up that. I've given up everything. And I'm just so grateful that this one particular time I didn't try another fad diet. I didn't try paleo, or let me try Whole30, or let me do another thing that wasn't going to work for me. Because it stemmed from insecurity on my part, right? I felt like I was less disciplined than the rest of the people on the planet. I've got all this great stuff going for me, but it would chip away at my self-esteem, not being able to just get my weight under control. So I'm a competitive tennis player, and I would look across the court and I'd see these thin, beautiful people that like obviously must have their act together and be more successful than me, because look, they're disciplined enough to have that body. Now maybe they, are just miserable on the inside, or dreadfully insecure, or have terrible marriages. I would hate to be living in their body, but still I looked at it like I was less than. So that's what drove me for 40 years. It drove me. And occasionally throughout the years, I would watch Heidi Bernkepper's posts, right? She would say something like, a weight loss transformation. Oh, look at my friend Donna. She did such a great job. She's lost all this weight and she feels so great about herself, or something. But weight loss transformations resonate with me for sure. But then, every once in a while, I've been watching her posts for many, many years. This is going on 4 or 5 years. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and occasionally something else would resonate with me. Like, I'll never forget this time she posted this picture of her riding her bike 10 days after arthroscopic surgery on her knee in Aspen. And she said,
Yeah.
"My physical therapist said he's never seen anybody heal faster than me." And I paid attention to that.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to make the call. And she even reached out to me several times and said, "Hey, would you be interested in trying this nutritional technology?" And I was like, no, not yet, not my time. I wasn't ready. I didn't want to do the network marketing thing. It just didn't feel like the right fit. It wasn't authentic for me. I just wanted to do it my own unsuccessful way again. So, so that would, I wouldn't, she would reach out, and I didn't bite. And then she posted something else that really resonated with me. She has a son. Heidi and Paul have a son who played D1 hockey in college. And at some point, his coach came and said, "Listen, you guys can't start for me unless you're under 10% body fat." And he was 14 at the time, I think. And he was getting ready to go on a 5-week break from school. And he came home and said, "Mom, if I lose 1 pound on this stuff, I'm going to kill you." Right. But I have to, I want to start. This is important to me. Right. And that resonates with me. Right. Because that's D1 money. Right. People, this is important stuff.
Absolutely.
and you want to start, right? So he went home, he fattened up his shakes and somehow was able to lose like 5% body fat and put on 4 pounds of lean muscle mass in 5 weeks time. That one really resonated with me. And then somebody posted a picture of Heidi Barkember in that green bikini in July when I was feeling fat and 50. And I just could not take it anymore. And I said, I just called her up out of the blue and I said, Heidi, send me the box. I just need to have whatever's in the box. I don't even care what's in the box. Just send it to me and tell me what I'm supposed to do. And so that I'm forever grateful for that series of influential posts in my life, because for some reason I felt like this was the real deal, right? It was backed by a scientific board. There were real things happening here. It wasn't an inconvenient, really hard to manage type of diet that I was never going to be able to deal with. I cannot tell you how many heads of broccoli I've thrown away at the end of the week because I just did not get my act together enough to cook it or whatever. I've driven all over town. I've got all my fresh vegetables. I'm so excited when I buy them, but I'm busy. I mean, I work 80 hours a week sometimes, and I just don't have the time to prepare those kind of meals for my family, much as I love to do that. So for whatever it worked, for what it's worth, things just wouldn't work for me. If it's laborious for me personally, it just does not work because I just don't have the time to make it happen. So I decided I got my big box. I decided to commit to the process, and it was a little bit slow going for me at first. I didn't lose as many pounds as other people may have lost in the very beginning, but I lost a lot of inches. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to stay the course. I'm going to commit to the process, and I'm just going to do it. And my whole body started to change. And I will never forget looking down in the car and seeing this muscle in my arm that I had never seen before. And I am like rock solid muscle girl now. And I am not going to the gym, people. That is just not who I am. I play a lot of competitive tennis, but my body composition has changed. And so when people say that this is like, it is increasing your health from the inside out at a cellular level, this is no joke. This is absolutely reconstructing your body and giving it everything that it needs, all while if you have weight to lose, that's what's going to happen. If you have lean muscle mass to generate, that's going to happen too. It's this synergistic system that puts everything in your body into balance. And I don't know anything about that. I'm glad I don't need to know anything about it. All I know is that I just need to trust that the process works and keep drinking my shakes and doing my cleansing, and it all, makes this magical gravy inside your body. So I never felt better in my life. I have never played tennis like this in my life. I am consistently beating people that I am never supposed to beat. I am able to put myself in front of the ball where I was never before. And so I can see what's going to happen, and I am mentally alert. I have an awareness and an acute sense of where I need to be in order to put it away and make it happen. I've never had that before. So my athletic performance has increased 1,000-fold. I'm sleeping like a champ. I feel like $1,000,000. And I can't say enough unbelievable things about this product. So if you have tried everything and maybe something hasn't worked for you, then this is a phenomenal system to try for 30 days. There's just no reason why not to do it. If it's not for you, you'll find that out, in which case, give it up, get your money back. But it might just change your life. It certainly changed mine. So
that's incredible stuff, Liz. And and I think if I was a new person on the line right now listening to this, I might even be like really skeptical and like, that sounds crazy. But the reality is, it's true, isn't it? I mean, this stuff really, really works.
This is the real deal.
And I think that it's a real deal. And everybody on the line this evening, everybody on our team, we all love these products. And, we can't go a day without them, right? And we talk about losing weight, but we also talk about increasing athletic performance and energy. And Liz, you've experienced all of those.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, Liz, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we've just had so many people, incredible people, just like Liz, just like the rest of the people on this call, experiencing the same results. And so if you're new on the call today, or you're new to Isagenix, we're going to give you a little bit more information about what this is all about, okay? So, having said that, I don't know what that is. Oh no, don't do that to me. What happened there? Um, what happened? Hold on with me. Is everybody still there? I'm hoping. I
We're here.
lost my presentation.
We're here,
Okay,
Paul.
I lost. Okay, I knew I was going to screw this up, and lo and behold, I think I did. So give me just a second and see if I can figure this out. Um, what's that? What the? Okay. Oh, I found it. Can everybody see this or no?
Yes,
Okay, good.
we can see it.
All right, let's see if I can make it. Okay, everybody can see that?
Yeah, you're on full screen, Paul.
Yeah. Should I be or should I not be?
No, you're good.
Okay, dynamite. Well, I'm going to get started then, okay? Hopefully there's the right presentation. No, this is not. I'm sorry. Heidi shouldn't have let me do this. And I might just default to a non, if I can get this up to,
That is
Let me
the one
just
that's been
see.
used.
Yeah,
There's a new one.
yeah. I don't know how to get it though. That's the only problem. How do I'm sorry. This is crazy. I don't know how to do, okay. I might just default to a non-Zoom presentation if I can't figure this out in the next 2 minutes. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll use this presentation because I can't find the other one, okay? And we'll just adapt to it, all right? Let's just make this easy. So, and you know what, I'm going to skip over some of these slides because let me just tell you what we're doing. I think this is like, okay, the business presentation, isn't it? Let's just see. All right, well, we'll use this. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to give just a like 20-minute quick overview of what Isagenix is. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, the objective of this call is to give you the information that you need so that you can make a decision at the end of this call as to whether or not it's something that you want to learn more about, okay? If it is something that you want to learn more about, then you're going to follow up with the person that invited you to this call, and you guys can discuss next steps, okay? And if it's not something that you're interested in, you're going to follow up with the person that invited you to this call and let them know. And just tell them, you know, very simply, hey, thanks for the information, but you know what, this isn't my cup of tea. I'm not interested. Thanks, but no thanks, okay? And the reason I say that is because we are not here to try to convince anybody to do anything, all right? We are here simply to educate you, all right, as to what Isagenix is and also what Isagenix isn't, and let you make that decision. And whatever your decision is, we support it, okay? So keep that in mind. We're just very happy that you took the time out of your evening this evening to out of your day this evening, whatever, to learn more about what we all share and love, okay? So as we talk about this, we do have a number of different products. We probably have 50 different products all said and done within Isagenix. We have incredible products, things that will that are really just a replacement of things that you're probably already buying. Okay, we have energy drinks. We have bars that we eat during the day. We have these incredible shakes that we use. There's skincare products. There's pre and post workout drinks. There's a lot of different products that we have, but tonight we're going to be focusing just on our 5 core products, what we call the 5 pillars of health. Okay, and as we talk about this as solutions to transform lives. And, as we're sitting here and talking about this evening, I want you to think about this. And I want you to ask yourself, what's your highest and greatest priority? Because we have these 5 core products and the ancillary products all address these 5 areas, okay? And then the way you use them is predicated upon what your goals and objectives are, if that makes sense. But our products address weight loss, they address energy, performance, healthy aging, and wealth creation, okay? Some people love these products, and after they start using the products, they love them so much that they want to share them with other people. And when you share them with other people, you have the chance to make, Isagenix thanks you by paying you, all right? And that's the way that works. But we're not going to be talking about the business this evening. We're just talking about the products, because that's where it all starts. It starts with the products. That's what this company is all about. So you want to think about that. What is your highest priority? Is it weight loss, energy, performance, healthy aging, or wealth creation? As we heard from Liz, she's been able to experience a number of these, at least three of those, and probably 4, well, actually probably all 5, right, Liz? So anyway, let's talk about these products, and let's see, okay, so here are it's a picture of the different products that we have. Remember, we're going to just be focusing on the 5 pillars today. Now, the FDA does not, this hasn't been evaluated by the FDA. The FDA doesn't, that's the thing about, this world, supplements, is the FDA doesn't monitor the supplement world. And that's why you have to be so careful in who you're dealing with and what products that you're buying. And Isagenix does a lot of third-party testing, and these third-party testing to make sure that these products that they're putting in, the ingredients that they're putting into their products are the best, okay? So anyway, just bear in mind that the products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, all right? Let's talk about the first pillar, okay, what we call the Isagenix shake. And bear in mind, this is not a protein shake, okay? This is actually a macronutrient full meal replacement shake, all right? Depending upon what your goals and objectives are, most people will replace 1 or maybe 2 meals a day with this meal replacement shake, okay? And it has been clinically shown to aid weight loss while supporting lean muscle growth. And I'll tell you what, we heard Liz's testimony, I'll tell you mine. I started on these products a little over 5 years ago. I've been taking them every day since. I won't go a day without them. I always weighed the same weight over the years. I'm like 195, give or take a few pounds. But what I wasn't realizing, and I thought I was eating well, but what I didn't realize is I was getting older, my weight was redistributing. Okay, I weighed the same, but it was redistributing into different places. And I got on the products not to lose weight, but I got on the products so I could just feel better and increase energy and performance. And what I found is over a period of time, I don't know what period of time it was, if it was a month, 3 months, whatever it was, I just started noticing I just kept tightening up my belt. And lo and behold, over time, I lost 3 belt notches. But over that period of time, I actually gained weight. And that's pretty significant, because to be able to shed body fat while gaining muscle mass, that's really hard to do. And that's what Isagenix, so many people have had that experience. So we have energy and fueling carbs, good fats. There's 24 grams of protein. There's also the Isagenix Pro. That's 36 grams of protein. But believe it or not, you take this shake, you mix it with water, and you fire it down, and you give your body everything it needs to function optimally. And you really do. The shake really does satiate you. I personally do 2 shakes a day. And then I have a big meal at night, and I might have one of our bars in between meals, et cetera. But these shakes really do work. They do fill you up, quote unquote. Okay. And let's talk about our Cleanse for Life, which is our second pillar. Cleanse for Life is basically what this is. Cleansing supports healthy metabolism. And the Cleanse for Life is a synergistic blend of natural cleansing herbs and botanicals designed to maintain good health and support detoxification, okay? And these nutrients actually nourish your body. So we have all of these toxins that we're eating, we're breathing, and we're drinking, all right? And the key to overall health is to help get these toxins out of your body. And that's what this cleanse does. I almost would call it instead of calling it Cleanse for Life, I'd call it liver support. It gives your liver the nutrients, the minerals, all this good stuff that it needs to, help get rid of these toxins that our bodies really aren't used to and are struggling to get rid of, okay? And, there's studies also have shown that it's one of the big things with weight loss. We can deprive ourselves of calories and lose weight, but if we don't rid our body of these toxins, the body's natural defense mechanism is to suck these toxins away from our internal vital organs and encapsulate them in fat. Since our body can't get rid of them, they encapsulate them in fat. So when we go on a diet we restrict calories, yes, we do lose weight, but once we stop dieting, our body's a miracle, right? The natural defense mechanism kicks in, and the fat starts coming back to encapsulate those toxins and pull them away from the vital organs. So we need to get rid of these toxins, and that's what the cleanse does. It's like taking a shower on the inside, and once you take this cleanse, now your body is prepped and ready to absorb all the wonderful stuff that's in the other 4 pillars, okay? And by the way, the cleanse can be taken as a daily cleanse. I take 1 shot a night of the cleanse, or it can be used in the prescribed 2-day cleanse that Isagenix once again prescribes. So the science behind the 2-day cleanse is actually pretty phenomenal. And we don't have time to go into that, but whoever invited you to this call, if you're curious about learning more about that, have them send you that information. That leads us to the 3rd pillar, Ionic Supreme. And this stuff, I would suggest to you, you're not going to believe me when I tell you how great this stuff is. Once again, I was skeptical as well. I like the concept. When I first started with Isagenix, I like the idea of this system, making it easy. And that's what Isagenix is. And that's what, so many people have had such great success with Isagenix, because it's a system. And it takes the guesswork out of feeding your body optimal nutrition. All right. I didn't know a lot about nutrition. I thought I was eating well, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's what Isagenix. So they make it super easy and make it very cost effective to get ourselves and feed ourselves optimal nutrition, okay, which is not easy. Hey, there's Heidi, because you know what? I'm going to have her help me get on the right presentation here, because I don't like this presentation. So bear with me for just a second. I screwed it up. What presentation is this that I'm on? Can you put the right presentation on?
This is it.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm not on the right presentation. I'm on some crazy presentation. I don't know.
Oh, that's the one. Well, how long have you been on?
I don't know. Since we've been on for 20 minutes or so.
Oh,
So can you fix this? Because I have people on the line right now.
yeah.
And I just don't like this presentation.
Oh, people are on here. Can they hear you?
I think so.
Oh my God.
I
We
don't
sure
know. I
can.
don't know. Okay, there's Joe.
Hi,
I didn't know
Joe.
where everybody-
This is the right presentation.
Well, that one is, but not the other one.
Well, I don't know what you did, but
I don't either.
He's been doing great.
All right. So so let's go back to this, okay? Because, and I'm going to breeze through this, but you remember I said I thought I was eating well. This might be something that I would eat. The Panera chicken kale Caesar salad, right? Go in and order a salad. Hey, I'm eating healthy, right? Well, not only is that $9 versus our shake, which is $3 a serving, but look at that, 670 calories versus our shake, 240 calories, 34 grams of fat versus 6 grams of fat. Now, and you know, similar protein, right? So this is what we're talking about. It's a substitute for what you might be already currently eating. Look at this. After my kids played hockey, you know, I thought I was doing them the right thing. I was taking them to the gas station and, you know, right at the, hey, we got to get your Gatorade. We got to replace all that stuff, you know, and electrolytes and all that stuff we see on the commercials. And you know what I'm finding out, the more I'm learning, the more I'm figuring out that we're being duped by corporate America. Our food supply is garbage here in America. And Isagenix gives us the ability and the resources and the tools to fight it back against us and take control of our health. So instead of this garbage Gatorade, look at this. You know, here's our amped product. No artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners. And it does the same thing, but without the high fructose corn syrup and all that garbage. Look at this, Cliff Bar, right? Hey, Cliff Bar, that's healthy, right? I'm going to go out for a hike. Yeah, we were there was a booth set up. It's the World Cup going on here in Aspen, and there's a booth set up, and they were handing out free Cliff Bars, and we said, no thanks. Okay, but you know what? Before Isagenix, this is what I bought. Okay, hey, I'm going for a hike or whatever. I'm going to take my Cliff Bar with me because that's healthy. Well, when we start comparing these, right, we start seeing, you know, look at the difference in sugars here, all right? Look how much more protein that we have in the Isagenix bar, the Isoline bar. So this is what we're talking about, all right? We have, and as I mentioned, we have skin care, we have joint pain relief, we have brain support, energy. There's snacks that we can take throughout the day. We have the performance line, the before and after workout drink. So once again, we have all these different products. We talked about the different areas that it addresses. I'm going to skip over this in the interest of time. But here's the key, and this is, I think I mentioned this, but Isagenix, the key to Isagenix is this incredible scientific advisory board. Isagenix is attracting some of the top scientists from around the world. And they're joining Isagenix because the Isagenix mission, you know, their mission is to, you know, to help people and make them more healthy and free them from physical and financial pain. And I love that. So they're doing it right. They've got this scientific advisory board, and they've all gotten together and they've developed this comprehensive synergistic system to build a nutritionally sound body. We are not a one product wonder. We are not a pill that you take, okay? That doesn't work. This does, all right? So all our ingredients, they're pure, safe, efficacious, and beneficial. Organic, no artificial flavorings, no garbage, okay? And as I mentioned, testing the products, we spent over $2 million on testing raw materials, finished good, and third-party testing. That's why, you know, you want to deal with a reputable company like Isagenix. Here's one of the studies that they did. Remember, we talk about Isagenix has done these independent third-party tests. Now, you know, you hear from these other companies that they do these trials or these studies. Well, they're in-house studies. If you look at them, you find all their in-house studies. Isagenix has gone to they've gone the extra mile. They've gone out and they've spent the money to get these independent third-party studies conducted, okay? And not only are they independent third-party studies, but more importantly, these studies, the results have been published, you know, peer-reviewed and published in multiple prestigious medical journals. So they're the real deal. And you look at this, Isagenix versus the heart healthy diet. If you go to your doctor, okay, your cardiologist, your internist, whatever, and they recommend to you a diet, that's the heart healthy diet. Okay, it's eating well-rounded, good food, organic if possible. And so Isagenix, they did this third-party test. Look at this. Isagenix, 56% more weight loss with Isagenix, okay? 47% more fat loss with Isagenix, and twice as much visceral fat loss. Visceral fat, folks, is the fat that surrounds your organs. It's the worst kind of fat, okay? So look at the results there. This is the real deal. Remember, we talked about the 5 pillars of health. We talked about the cleanse for life, right? We talked about the shake already, all right? And I think we were just talking about the Isagenix Supreme. You know, it has the adaptogens to adapt the body to what it needs, right? Helping. And here's the thing, you know, this Isagenix Supreme, really addresses cortisol. And cortisol production is a good thing, but overproduction of cortisol is a bad thing. And cortisol, our body produces cortisol as basically as a reaction to stress, and that's not quite the right word, but when we have stress, our body produces cortisol, and it can be mental stress and it could be physical stress, right? We all have stress in our lives of some sort, right? But even physical stress for athletes. So when there's this overproduction of cortisol, it can lead to increased body fat. It can increase to feeling a little sluggish during the day, and it can increase and lead to difficulty sleeping. So this Ionic Supreme is unbelievable, and it addresses those things. And I would suggest to you, there's a lot of people within Isagenix that if you had to nail them down, what's your one favorite product? Well, I don't know. I can't say. Well, if you had to nail them down, what's your one favorite product? A lot of them will tell you this is Ionic Supreme. This stuff is amazing. Take a shot. I take a shot of it in the morning. I take a shot of it at night before I go to bed. Okay. Moving on to our next pillar, right? We've talked about the cleanse. We've talked about the shakes. We've talked about the Ionic Supreme. So now let's talk about the what we referred to as our complete essentials. In other words, they're vitamins, they're multivitamin, and they come in convenient AM and PM packs. Once again, remember, Isagenix takes the guesswork out of this, all right? Instead of going to the store, okay, I got to buy CoQ10, I got to buy fish oil, I got to buy omega-3, I got to buy, whatever it is, all right? You don't need to know all of that. Just like Liz said, you don't need to know this. All you need to do is plug into this system, and it makes it easy for you. Everything that you need is in these AM and PM packs. It makes it super easy. It's the best of the best ingredients that Isagenix literally sources from around the world, okay? So once again, like Liz said, this is the real deal, all right? And here's a pretty crazy study, but it shows that in order to get the same amount of nutrients, okay, what is it? The nutrients found in a day's worth of Ageless Essentials, you'd have to eat $550 worth of food, okay? So we do it at what? The daily cost of around $4.15, okay? Once again, making it easy and making it cost-effective to fuel your body with optimal nutrition. This is our fifth pillar, okay? And this can be it can be bought separately, or it can be included in those AM and PM packs. That's what I do. It just makes it easy. But Isagenesis, and this could be one of our most exciting products. And Isagenesis, I don't know, it addresses telomeres. So I don't know, people on the call that are new to this, I don't know whether or not you've heard of telomeres. If you haven't, you're going to be hearing about them because they're becoming more and more mainstream. But telomeres, and I'm going to make this really super simple because I know we're running out of time, but telomeres are at the end of your chromosomes. And as your body ages, and our cells are constantly replicating, right? Constantly. Every time your cell replicates, those telomeres get a little shorter, until over time, unless something else gets you first, your telomeres get so short that you die, okay? So Isagenesis has been developed, and it has been proven in vitro to address telomeres and strengthen telomeres. So this is when we talk about anti-aging. This is one of the big tools that we have to address anti-aging. And, you see people that are 50, but they look like they're 60. But then you see people that are 50 and they look like they're 40. A lot of that has to do with these telomeres, okay? It's a biomarker for aging. So anyway, the science behind this stuff's amazing. Anyway, let's kind of start wrapping up here. The coolest one, I think, to me anyway, one of the coolest things about Isagenix is it's not in addition to, all right? It's simply a redirect. So instead of going to the grocery store, live in St. Louis at Schnucks, if you live out west at City Market, whatever, instead of going to the grocery store and writing a check, you're writing a check to Isagenix, okay? All we do is we show you how to open up your own online wholesale grocery store. That's it. Where you can go online and buy the best nutrition on the planet and have it delivered right to your doorstep. It's really incredible. Remember, easy, cost effective, and very affordable. All right. And the question is, how much do you spend on food? And everybody's going to have a different answer to that, I know. But studies have shown that most people that eat healthy, okay, because eating healthy is not cheap, right? And it's not easy. If you really want to eat healthy, it's a lot of work and it's very expensive, right? We go to Whole Foods and, obviously we all call Whole Foods whole paycheck, right? It's not cheap. So, but studies have shown that, most people that eat healthy on average spend about $30 a day on food. Now, if you start throwing in, you think, I don't want to spend that much. Well, you start throwing in that Starbucks coffee you're going to get, and you start throwing the little snack that you're having here and having there, and you're going to that Panera. Remember, $9 for that salad Panera. It adds up pretty quick, right? So, Isagenix, there's different product packages that you can purchase. You can get together, and we might talk about it a little bit here at the end. I'm not sure if it's in this presentation or not, but you can get together with the person who invited you, and that individual can work with you to determine what products are going to be best suited to your needs, the objectives that you're trying to accomplish, as well as your budget. Okay. But here's the thing about Isagenix, and you remember I said one of the things I love about it most is it's a system. It's easy to follow. Here's the other thing I love about it. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Here's the deal. You order these products. We can talk about the science. We got these great studies. We can look at all the ingredients. We can talk about this. We can look at it and research this until our face turns blue, right? But at the end of the day, the only way you're going to know whether or not these products work for you is by getting them into your body. So that's why, Isagenix understands that. And Isagenix wants to make it super easy for you to get these products and try them. Order these products. If you don't like them, send them back and you get your money back. Okay. You don't even have to send them back. You can use these products at the end of 30 days. If you're not satisfied for whatever reason, you tell Isagenix, money back guarantee. So here's the thing. What do you got to lose? All you've got to lose, what do you got? To me, you've got nothing to lose and so much to gain, right? In the way of health, right? So here's the thing. We went through these kind of quickly, and I'm sure that if you're new to this, you probably have additional questions. You're going to be able to circle back with the individual that invited you. But here's what we always do with our new people. We tell them, hey, there's a money-back guarantee. Let's get you on the products, get them into your body, and if you don't like them, if you do like them, you can reorder. If you don't like them, send them back, get your money back. But here's the thing. Once we place your order for you, before your products even show up, we schedule with you what we refer to as an orientation call. So we're going to get on the phone with you before your package even arrives, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the products, how to use them, how to go online, how to access the information that you're going to need. The resources that are going to be available to you are incredible. And in other words, what we're going to do is we're going to set you up for success. So when your product show up on your doorstep, you're going to be super excited and you're going to be ready to hit the ground running. Okay. And okay, so here's a couple of options. And these are the options that we recommend that you get started with. Once again, to set you up for success. This isn't what you're going to be ordering on an ongoing basis. Okay. This is just the first month to kickstart your body into overdrive and get you going. All right. Once again, to maximize results, maximize the probability of success that you're going to have using these products. The value pack, value/presence pack is what I recommend. It's what I started with. It is the greatest value. Okay. It comes with the 5 pillars and also comes with some of the ancillary products we talked about. All right. Because it's got the vitamins in there and even has a blender in there. Oh, I've got a blender. Well, this blender is just a perfect little 1-serving little bullet blender. It makes the perfect shake. So it's really nice to have that. And once again, we talked about if you're eating healthy, on average, you're spending $30 a day. This is $20 a day, okay? It's 80 meals. You're replacing 80 meals, all right? So keep that in mind as you're looking at these prices. Sometimes you might have a little sticker shock, but remember, you're ordering 30 days of meals here, 80 meals, okay? Now if that's not quite in your budget, we can go over the Pace Setter pack. I think the biggest difference with that is that there's no vitamins in that. So if you can do the value pack, we would certainly recommend it. If not, maybe the Pace Setters pack. And if those don't work, once again, we have other options to fit your whatever your goals are as well as your budget. Those are the two packs that I would recommend. All right. So anyway, that's the kind of the overview of our products. I'm going to come back here to Zoom. I'm going to, Heidi, what do I do? Press stop share?
Yeah, stop share.
And Heidi's going to interject something here.
Oh, I don't want to
No?
see me.
Oh,
And they can't hear
how do I get back to the screen? Stop share. That's right. Okay, now we're back.
God, you have a huge crowd.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, needs anything, you can unmute yourself. But Heidi's handed me this, okay? And this is it sounds like the sales pitch, right? Oh my gosh, act now and you get this. Well, the reality is we do have, this is just for tonight, Heidi?
It should work for midnight.
Okay, so it's going to work through midnight. When you enroll with a wholesale account, the wholesale account is a one-time cost of $29. You pay the $29 and then you're able to order all your products at wholesale, which is like on average 30% off the retail price. So you're going to pay the same price that we pay, all right? But here's the thing. If you decide to do this now, remember, order these products, try them out, get them in your body. If you don't like them, you send them back. So get with the person that invited you to this call today, and if you order your products tonight, if you get enrolled tonight, we're going to give you free enrollment, okay? And the code on that for all you Isagenix people is BIRD, okay? BIRD. Okay, that's the code that you're going to use. It's going to be good through midnight, and it's going to give you free enrollment. So if you're thinking about ordering these products, it's maybe one more incentive to go ahead and get started. You place your order tonight. The person invited you to the call will help you out with that. They'll put this code in, and they'll at least save you $29. What's wrong with that, right? Better than a sharp stick in the eye. So having said that, anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself or comments or telling me how long I went. It's crazy how long I went. I blew it, but I had the wrong presentation. Anybody, any comments, thoughts, suggestions, questions? If not, I'm going to end the call. And I thank you all for attending. And good luck with your Isagenix journey. Thanks, guys.
You did a great job, Paul. Thanks, man.
All right. See you guys. Thanks. See you. Yeehaw.
Good job, Paul.
Take care.
Lisa. Hi, Rita. Hi, Liz. Hi, Joe.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. I'm going to cut us out. So good night, everybody. Thanks again.